Thank you. I hope you guys follow. I'm taking a Q&A approach to my research, so follow along. Rising inequality, higher homelessness, and just recently, Apple was forced by the European Commission to pay their taxes because the Irish government didn't want to collect it. But with all this situation, you may ask yourself, why should I pay my taxes? My answer to it is because you have to. As Benjamin Franklin once said, two things in life are certain: debt and taxes. You may then ask yourself, or you may ask me, that then I would make it as difficult and as low as possible. My answer to it is, yes, you could. But this is where my research comes in. My research is trying to look at how we can use technology to improve the relationship between the tax administration and you, the citizen. You may then ask me that, why do you think technology will help? And my answer to you will be, because, as the chart shows, there's a huge support for public services which we use taxes for. However, most people don't trust their government and the institutions that govern us. This is the OECD average, but in Ireland is actually a much lower score for trusting government. So this is what my research aims to give you, the citizen, more accountability, transparency, and more sense of control over the institutions that govern you. You may then ask me, I see, but do this work in other countries? My answer will be to you, sadly no. According to the report, 85% of e-government projects end in failure. 50% complete failure, 35% partial failure. You may then ask me that, why is this the case then? 3 reasons. The private-public gap. This is a situation where you have a technology in the private sector, and trying to move it to the public sector makes it problematic. Usually, a good example is a case of a technology. In the private sector, you have the money, you only have to answer to shareholders. But in the public sector, you have to answer to opposition politicians, mainstream politicians, local media, civil service organizations, and quite frankly, people who want to see the project fail. The second one is the hard-soft gap. This is a situation where, for example, you have the technology, but you don't have the tax administration with the right skills to actually work on the technology, or the context, or the social context where it's problematic or incompatible. And then we have the country context gap. This is a situation where you're trying to bring a technology from one country to the other one. For example, a tax technology that works in Japan might not work in Ireland because of differences in the context. I hope with my research that I can help you have more trust in your institution. Thank you.